Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus AEW Dynamite from August 5th, 2020. I have not seen the ratings yet for NXT and AEW. But I will venture to guess that AEW probably pulled their biggest number in a long, long time. Here's why. Wrestling fans are funny creatures. And when you have momentum going your way, it takes a little while for them to catch up. And when you're doing a bad product, it takes a little while for them to figure it out. It's just something that's happened throughout wrestling history. And AEW, though, has been getting steadily better and better and better. I think the fact that the first Dynamite show that they did, after specially named shows, Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen, but the show that happened after those, I thought was actually a better show. Structurally, I mean. And now, my opinion of AEW is not that they're a flawless product, but that they're a product where it feels like they're firing on all cylinders. Something interesting to note about this show is it felt slam-packed. For goodness sakes, the first match was a 6-on-6 match. And still, here are the people that you did not see, really, or hear from. Hikaru Shida, their women's champion, who is really not involved in an angle of note right now. Lance Archer, Brian Cage. These are all big-time stars for AEW, and you didn't hear hide nor hair of them, yet it felt like a ton of angles were advanced and that kind of thing. This is what happens when you're operating from strength. It's the ultimate fundamental lesson about AEW. People can dislike things about the show. You can talk about the reckless nature of certain things, and my God, it seems like guys are getting hit in the mouth a lot, and they've got blood on the show, usually unintentionally. Yes, all true. And I've spoken about those things before. But it is a show that feels like it is hitting its stride. It's the kind of show where you feel like, oh my God, how are they going to continue this momentum or top it? Which is a much better problem to have than, man, this show is boring, or what the hell did they try to pull out of their ass this week to try to make the show relevant again? Raw. In any case, I took a look whenever I think about it or whenever I'm notified about it and can watch. I try to watch the pre-show that shows up 3 hours before Dynamite goes on the air, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I was trying to get the names of the hosts. I got her name, it's Dasha Gonzalez, and his name is Alex Humarentos. I'm not sure. Why? Because they should put their names up on the fucking graphic. That's my note about the pre-show. Also, he shouldn't trivialize things. I get that they're doing a loose, fun vibe. They're not going like strictly kayfabe and stuff like that. But when he sort of dismissed something as, going on a golf outing on an angle that they're treating as very serious on the program, I don't think that's a good look. They promote the fact that they're going to have the two of the Dark Order against Matt Cardona and Cody Rhodes. They promote the fact that they're going to do that big 6-person match, Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, and 4 other Dark Order members against Page and Omega, the Bucks, and FTR. They promote the debate between Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy with a guest moderator, and Jon Moxley against Darby Allin for the title, and Best Friends against Santana and Ortiz. And they have a video about it. Good stuff. The promo or interview, if you can call it that, with various members of the Inner Circle, where they basically said nothing and just glared at the host, was pretty funny. These pre-shows, though, again, they don't get a ton of views, and it would seem to be its captured audience. What could they do to change that? Or convert people who are watching this into watching Dynamite 3 hours from now? Here's minor suggestions. One, putting up the names of the hosts would help a lot. Another thing is they should do one thing that garners some kind of attention. I have never seen a wrestling news site, no matter how obscure or small, mention anything that has happened on any of these. They can do something on these things, even if they just played a little trivia, like who do you think the moderator is going to be? Well, I've been told that they've whittled it down to the 3 names, and here are the 3 names: blank, blank, and blank. Makes sense? Something where people can post about it over the next 3 hours to get people thinking about Dynamite more. Yeah, if you're going to do these things, use them for maximum effect. Okay, let's get into Dynamite. Opening video. Here's the matches that they push right off the top. Matt Cardona, yeah, that he's going to be there. Moxley against Darby. Dark Order against the Elite and FTR. And then we open the show, and boy, everybody's in the ring for the 6-on-6, and we're off and running. Again, AEW just has a knack for this first match. We're going to grab you, and we're not going to let go. That's the attitude, and that's what works. I see a few more masks in the de facto audience this week. Glad to see it. It's a better look. And they can tell me all day fucking long that nobody's telling them to be enthusiastic. I would have believed it in the other weeks, but this week, the audience response to things definitely picked up significantly, and that is a good thing. Press your advantage, AEW. You were the first to have a de facto crowd during the COVID era over the WWE, but they got more organized with their thing. So it behooves you guys to convey the spirit that you wish the audience to have, and that is, wow, this show is fucking amazing, right? So it was nice to hear them back and more vocal, and appropriately so. So this match, what did I think? I thought this match, I wrote in my notes, and I'm being honest here, I'm always happy to share when I ended up being right, and here's a case where I ended up being wrong, because I just went clusterfuck. Going to be, because that 5-on-5 fell apart many, many times. This one did not. I couldn't believe how well organized this thing was. I can't believe how well the story was told of, the injury to the knee of one of FTR. So they both left along with Hangman Page. The Dark Order definitely took over. It was Brody Lee, though, really making it go. And that story was well told. Page came back, got the hot tag. One of the best hot tags I've seen recently anywhere. On fire, kicking ass, super great. But when it looked like it was all coming together for Omega and Page, it fell apart because of the organized, concentrated effort of the Dark Order, pulling this guy out of the ring at the right time, doing this, doing that, and establishing as Brody Lee's finisher, finally, that freaking lariat. Looked great. It should be his finisher. He got the pin. Dark Order wins. Wow, wow, wow. Commercial. Come back. Trent's mom got it going on. Sue is her name, apparently. And she's dropping off the boys and says, take care of the van. Oh, sweet, sweet foreshadowing. I write that here. Mox against Darby is promoted. Jon Moxley speaks. Can people fucking come around with me that Jon Moxley is good at this shit? Please. This promo was outstanding. I got to defend against Darby. All of a sudden, he justified the Darby thing, which was a little wonky last week, right? MJF makes this big pronouncement that I want a title shot at the next pay-per-view. And then they just sort of announce out of hand, oh yeah, Darby's going to get a shot at Moxley next week, which seemed to diffuse everything. Instead, they found a way to turn it around and make it great. And Mox telling this story about, fuck, I know Darby won't listen, but he's really got to back off because he's going to hurt himself. And I love that kid. And I'm not going to want to do what I think I'm going to have to do. So if I tell you stay down, stay down. But I know you're not going to listen. It's really great. Mox just came across as a babyface, but a babyface that was determined to be champion. And my title means a lot, and everybody fucking wants it. Does everybody want the NXT title? Karrion does. I don't know who else does. Seems like everybody else is chasing the secondary title, right? Who wants Drew McIntyre's title? Randy Orton, but apparently nobody else. Once you lose, you're out. apparently, and you stop caring about it if you're Lashley. And same with SmackDown. Great job, AEW. Vince Russo once famously said, and people got mad about it even though it's true, a belt is a prop. But what Vince Russo failed to follow up on is that prop has only the value with which you attach it and how you treat it. And AEW has done a good job with their title, and Moxley has done a great job running with it. It's good that it is not Jericho right now. Jericho is doing exactly what he is supposed to do. Match number 2, Santana and Ortiz versus Best Friends. A decently solid match. Again, huge fan of Trent. My God, he takes heat twice. He Ricky Morton's twice in this thing. We go to a split screen, so they certainly have earned that. They put the results of AEW Dark along the bottom, which I really, really love. They're keeping consistent with these things. By the way, I checked out the AEW website indirectly because somebody pointed out, oh, look at this old picture of Right to Censor, and they have righttocensor.com. You should go see righttocensor.com to see what it is. So I went and looked, and guess what? Sent you to the AEW website. What? Free Easter egg, folks. Yes, righttocensor.com sends you to AEW. And that's where they have their top 10 lists. Sometimes they would put them on TV. Most of the time they wouldn't. I feel like they should be consistent. But if they're not going to do it, then they should take us to the AEW website. They should talk about that at least once a show. Because the AEW website I thought was actually really good. And it's got the top 10s there. All right. The Best Friends win on kind of a fluky looking win, and that kind of surprises me. I write down here, hope this is followed up because it seems like a fluky win. Commercial. We go to MJF headquarters, and it's great to see some of the guys that have been there for Dark who are now part of his staff. Very funny. He's asked about Darby. MJF is asked about Darby Allin. Oh, aren't you afraid he's going to win? And then he does the strong thing of like, God, I hope he wins. Foreshadowing again. Nicely done. And logical and wonderful. And again, they've erased the notion of, MJF announces he wants this title match, which he apparently has been awarded to him. And, and then they announce this Darby thing. It seems stupid. Now they found a way to tie it all in. It's great. Matt Hardy. Great promo. Talks about how he's changing his role. He's not going to be all these silly things. He's going to be all in one. All these characters are him, and how he wants to help Private Party and wanted to help Sammy. Sammy comes out. They have a fucking brawl. Sammy Guevara, holy shit. The throne chair thing, bananas. The cut, which was obviously a hard way cut. And a friend of mine went and looked and said it was not caused by the throne chair. He was already bleeding before that. It was actually caused by the post hit somehow, some way. But the cut was really nasty. I mean, you could see when they were fixing up Hardy later when he cut a great follow promo. That it was obviously a hard way shot, but it was not caused apparently by the chair, which is common knowledge, supposedly, but it's wrong. So here else, you heard something really cool here too. That flip move that Sammy hit through the table was bananas bonkers. This was an incredibly intense, incredibly cool thing, and Hardy and Sammy Guevara feels like the right feud. You got Jericho and Orange Cassidy. Again, all these older guys lifting newer guys up. Isn't that how it's supposed to fucking be? Then after that madness, we go to Santana and Ortiz, who are my favorite tag team in AEW. And they're beating up Sue's van, Mom's van. They beat it up. Oh, my God. Hey, they had my kids' attention, I'll tell you that. My kids, when they're, around when I'm watching wrestling, usually don't care. They care about AEW. Commercial. We come back. 2 members of the Dark Order, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, taking on Cardona and Rhodes. This is a by-the-numbers tag team match, which is what it should be. Every other thing had Conqueror's cuckoo bonkers all over it. It was nice to see something that was kind of played out straight. Cardona wins. Radio silence for the name of his finisher is absolutely fucking terrible, but it is what it is. By the way, that makes a 6-person tag. A tag match between Santana Ortiz and the Best Friends, followed by another tag match of Silver and Reynolds against Cardona and Rhodes. Fucking hell, shit booking. You gotta fucking separate tag matches if you can. You gotta separate them out. You just have to separate them fucking out, because it feels like you're telling the same story again and again and again. As much as you might try to change it, there's something about tag team wrestling that inspires a certain kind of feel in storytelling. That's my big, huge negative note for this show. As Cody goes back, Scorpio Sky confronts him, which is something that they set up on AEW Dark. By the way, you should be listening to my AEW Dark reports. And Scorpio Sky, who implied that he wanted more, confronts Cody. Love it. Love it. Promo by the fucking best friends. Again, such a huge fan of Trent. Gonna apologize to my mom on speakerphone. Again, it seems dumb. It's great. It's just, again, everybody's got stuff going on, man. Love it. During the split screen, Sammy doing a promo with cue cards, showing them to the screen since you can't hear him. A great attempt to do something fun and different, man. And Sammy's obviously feeling it. His eyes were super wide. You could tell that thing with Hardy was woo child. Moderator Eric Bischoff. We're gonna have the talky talk between Jericho and Orange Cassidy. You either love this thing or you hated it. I loved it. I thought it was funny. Boy, have they gotten a ton of mileage out of that orange juice dropping on them. They keep bringing up the jacket. They keep bringing it. This is what you do. You have to establish value, right? This jacket's so important. It's $7,000. La, 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 la. They keep repeating these things to make them mean more and more and more and more. The bit about Orange Cassidy finally talking during the rising sea levels thing was funny. The beatdown of Jake Hager at the end looked great. The nice little nod of Eric Bischoff and Jericho kind of going at it a little bit. I've hated you for 20 years, 22 years, and Bischoff going like, it was actually 24 and I already knew. Again, just a great way to use Eric Bischoff. If they never used him again, it would be fine. But it definitely worked. It definitely felt larger than life. It's definitely going to get them attention in the wrestling world, all the stuff they wanted. That Jake Hager beat down, though, especially those punches to the midsection on Orange Cassidy looked great. Finishing him off with Jericho's elbow and Orange Cassidy left laying after being basically put over in this thing. It all makes sense. Looking forward to that match next week. And that's what this is all about, right? Commercial. Come back. Britt's opponent for Big Swole is her helper Reba. And then it has the predictable, Big Swole dominates. Reba gets the little middle, misses a move, Big Swole wins. That's what it's supposed to be. Cool. Why they could not have done this to split up the two tag matches, I will never know, but they should have. They should have. We get the card for next week. Cody against Scorpio Sky. Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. Omega and Page against the Jurassic Express. Presumably the two members that actually matter more. Dark Order against the Young Bucks. Very interesting. And this is the Dark Order team that was the number one contender that got the shot. Evil Uno and yeah. And then it's Tag Team Dedication Week or something like that. Appreciation Week. So they have Arn and Tully, who already work for them, and the Rock and Roll Express. Oh boy, what's that going to bring? I don't know. It's fascinating. And now we're going to have Mox and Darby after the commercial break. They go to commercial, and here we go in our main event. Darby against Moxley. Great story. You fear for Darby's life when he wrestles. That Moxley mask that Darby was wearing was bizarre and cool. Slaps Mox, takes the punch back that looks brutal. During the split screen, right before it, Mox doing a great bit of performing there with his face, just good facial expressions where he looks regretful for having to put Darby down. The spot where Wardlow comes down, and again, it was great to keep Wardlow off camera earlier because then when he shows up, it's actually a bit of a surprise. MJF with the belt shot to Mox. Gets hit with the coffin drop. Holy crap. Mox has, by the way, got blood from the belt shot. Awesome. A lot of blood tonight. This one was actually intentional, though. Kicks out. Wow. Darby goes for a second coffin drop. Mox catches him in a choke. Really, really cool. Darby gets out. Darby takes that gotch pile driver that looked like death and kicked out. Again, most people would hate this. I kind of hated that he kicked out of it too, but then I get they want to tell the story of I have to put him down with my DDT, which is so much more devastating because it's my finisher, and I regret doing it, I hate doing it, and he does it, and he beats him, and then he holds him. And MJF is furious because his plan to get the belt on Darby Allin didn't work, so now he's going to have to face Moxley and perhaps get his just desserts. We shall see. Folks, that is a slam bang of a show. I would venture to guess, if I had to pull a number out of the air. Let's see, if the Bucks against Butcher and Blade got 1 million views, I would say this show overall probably got around 900,000. With maybe a segment or two that approached that 1 million. That's my guess. We'll see if I'm right or not. And they certainly beat NXT, though I think NXT did a good show in a lot of ways with some stuff that might get them attention. So they probably did all right, like maybe around the 700 or even 750,000 mark. But I'm sure, AEW greatly outdistanced them. They're just running really hot right now, and I just wish they had an adult in the room, me, just to help smooth some stuff out, because they're really doing well, and I would love to see them continue to do well, as I hope that everyone in wrestling does, including and especially the WWE. Anyway, this has been Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus AEW Dynamite.